You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. So ESPN.com has a piece up where they list the biggest area of concern for all of the preseason top 25 teams. And for LSU, it should come as no surprise because this is the same thing that everybody is going to put out there when they talk about LSU. We're going to hear it all next week at SEC Football Media Days. It's offensive line. You lose 4 starters, including both of your 3-year starters at offensive tackle, one of whom was the 4th overall pick in the draft. 2 interior players that were seniors that started for 3 years at LSU. Yeah, I understand why that's the very natural place to go. Maybe I am completely colorblind here. I'll acknowledge, this might be one of those things, because I disagree with this, by the way. I'll tell you why in a second. But this might be one of those things where we come back at the end of the season, LSU's offensive line is really bad, and we go, man, how did you not see that at the beginning of the year? It was so obvious. You lose 4 starters. Of course it's not going to be any good. Maybe that's the case. But I really genuinely don't think so. I think last year, LSU's offensive line was, in pieces, at times, in parts, really good. They were exceptional at pass protection. And that's not only Will Campbell. Miles Frazier was actually your best, according to Pro Football Focus, your best pass protector last year. We'll get right back to the video, but thrilled to welcome Our Lady of the Lake to AFR LSU. As the championship health partner of LSU Athletics, the physicians at Our Lady of the Lake serve the champions on the field in the purple and gold, but that same level of care is available to you and your family. I've been a proud supporter of Our Lady of the Lake my entire life, from volunteering at the Ronald McDonald Playroom as a high schooler to helping so many of the fundraising efforts for the standalone Children's Hospital, to my own son being a patient now at that very Children's Hospital, and my primary care physician, Dr. Kurt Chastain, at Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. Our Lady of the Lake has been a part of my medical journey my entire life, and you can learn more as well. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. But the biggest complaint we had about the offense last year was that they couldn't run the football. LSU, a season ago, was 104th in America in rushing offense. 104th. Now, pass protecting, they get an A. They're very good. You had some, look, there were moments against Florida that weren't great, as we all remember. There were some individual moments like that weren't great. But overall, across 13 games, they were excellent pass protectors. But the running game never got off the ground, in large part because you really struggled to block, conceptually to run the football. There was just a lot wrong. 104th in America. So I look at 2025 and I go, okay, Caden Durham's healthy. And remember, he had 180 carries last year. Or 140 carries, last year. And from the South Alabama game on, he played with dislocated toes and a steel plate in his shoe. So he was playing not 100%. And you got a motivated Caleb Jackson. So you got a healthy Caden Durham, who didn't even really break out for you until the South Carolina game, and then played half the season with a bum wheel. And you've got 5-star Harlem Berry, and you've got a motivated Caleb Jackson, all that stuff. Last year, your lowest rated offensive lineman was DJ Chester because he was playing out of position. Now, DJ Chester, very likely, I believe, is going to move to guard. I know he cross-trained. Braylon Moore and DJ Chester both played center in spring. I think that's the time where you try them both at different spots. But you brought Braylon Moore in to be your starting center because he is a center and DJ Chester is a guard. By DJ Chester's own admission, this offseason when he talked about playing center and the difference with center and guard and not having to worry about the calls and snapping the football and the game being slow and all that sort of stuff. So you get a natural center Chester, an experienced, huge man, back at his natural position of guard. You bring in Josh Thompson, who's an all-conference caliber player in the Big Ten last year at Northwestern, coming in, who could play tackle or guard, but likely he's going to play guard for you. I love that interior. Don't you? I love Moore at center, Thompson, Chester at guard. I like that a lot. 3 dudes that have all been starters. Now, they haven't all played together in the same unit in those positions, but they've all been starters, all 3 of them. And then you got new tackles. So, yes, going from Will Campbell, Emory Jones, to Tyree Adams and Weston Davis, experience-wise, massive drop-off, no argument. But you've got 4 tight ends. Actually, 5 if you want to talk about Bordelon being a tackle-eligible tight end when he puts on the tight end jersey. So, be it Bauer Sharp or Trey'Dez or Donovan Green, who actually can put his hand in the dirt and move people, like, you can give help with tight ends if you need to. You can give help with your backs protecting if you need to. And Garrett Nussmeier is really good at getting rid of the football. One of the reasons LSU's sack numbers were low last year was because Nussmeier had a really good pocket presence, know when to get rid of the ball. Now, hopefully this year he runs a little bit more, something we've all talked about a bunch. But all that to say, go back and watch the bowl film. You didn't have Campbell or Jones in the bowl game, and you gave a lot of help with your tight ends in that bowl game. Okay, do the same thing. If you get a little, things get a little hairy at times in pass protection. So I don't think the biggest area of concern, for me anyway, is offensive line. For me, it is the defensive backfield still, because you were awful at safety a year ago. It was by far the biggest glaring weakness on your team. And now you've got some older players and you brought in some transfers, but I still got to see it because that was awful last year. Now you're going from Major Burns at star to Harold Perkins. In theory, that should be a huge, huge improvement. You're going from a guy like Sage Ryan, potentially, to A.J. Halsey, who was all conference in the Big 12 last year, but that's at Houston in the Big 12. Does it translate to the SEC? Jordan Gilbert could very well keep his starting job, or maybe Tamarcus Cooley wins a starting job, who was all conference in the ACC. But again, at NC State coming into the SEC, it's going to be very different. Or maybe Jordan Gilbert wins a job, or maybe Deshaun Spears steps up and wins a job. I don't know how it's going to go, but that's a gigantic question still because you're not settled there, and it was awful a year ago. And you want to extend it to cornerbacks. Zy Alexander was your best cornerback. He's gone. Mansour Delane coming in, I think is going to be awesome, but I got to see it. Ashton Stamps is still there. You got DJ Pickett coming in, PJ Woodland. So you got bodies, but I think you still got a lot of questions. I would say for me, my biggest area of concern still in this conference with the athletes, the quarterbacks, the receivers, the ability to throw the ball, get space, your secondary's got to prove they're a lot better than they were a year ago. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.